Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. As we're getting closer and closer every week to the end of the year, it's Mucking Fun Day. So any stories that happened over the weekend and news starting this week. So welcome to the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter podcast where we look up our stories started. Just got caffeine in our body and speak and read live on stream. Let's roll the segue wheel, but first, get into today's headlines. Mucking Fun Day, indeed, Demigorge. Today on Mucking Fun Day, Reeves gets more abuse because she is a woman, Starmer suggests. This is in the UK politics, but I'm sure it happens in every political area where there's men and women. An emergency rehearsal. Backup plane lit for the 2026 Games at Ancient Olympia.
All right, and in the United States, good morning. Where we have on Mucking Fun Day, X shows the regions where accounts are based in. A lot of them are out of this country, right-wing accounts. Plus, we have a reporter found guilty for fraud.
Amazon sites in Italy raided by police. In China, smuggling probe, sources say. So Amazon the website, not Amazon the forest.
As we will think about the children in our next segment, because 50 school children escaped captivity in Nigeria, and more than 50 children are missing from asylum in England.
In my culture news, a truly rare, uncovered 1700-year-old Roman tomb is found in Budapest.
And it's National Sardines Day. That's all it is. So we're going to pack these stories in like sardines for a Monday. Mucking Fun Day. 11/24/25 on Before Coffee.
We love sardines. I love sardines. I think they're delicious. Yeah, woo! Let's get excited, Demigorge, and everyone watching for this Mucking Fun Day news. I felt like I wanted to say something else, but that's really it.
Yeah, but sardines are good for you because you can crunch the bones, right? You don't have to worry about them getting caught in your throat.
Well, that's the same reason anchovies are good. You can just eat the whole thing.
Right, and that's mackerels, true. The same thing. Mackerels, I used to crunch.
And they're a good source of omega-3, which is great for your hair and your skin.
Great omega-3, and if you're eating bones, that's where you get your all your good stuff from. Is from that.
Yeah.
Bone marrow.
Your bones actually store stuff in there. Yeah.
Yep. And of course, omega-3 is very good for your back, right? It helps with the, lubrication or whatever you want to say.
The lubrication, it's your natural
oil. You don't want your bones, right? Your bones have, your vertebrae has discs between them, right? And if that doesn't have good surface area, it's going to deteriorate. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. So. All right.
Let's roll our first wheel for today's segue and our first stories.
I'm not a scientist just because I'm trying to regenerate life like Dr. Frankenstein. Doesn't make me a scientist. It just makes me an experimenter. Yeah. Anyway, let's spin the wheel for the first stories.
Rolling the wheel. It's the wheel and it's rolling. And you have to give me a hypothetical. And we're talking about, well, this is very hypothetical, but also they found there might be studies based on this. I think Starmer is being hypothetical, saying, hey, my fellow politician that I work with gets treated like shit way more than I do, and I'm the prime minister. Oh. Why is that? Probably because she's a woman. This is from Sophie Wingate, Standard UK. Rachel Reeves told the Time magazine this week that she was sick of people mansplaining how to be chancellor. I got the job, dude. Mm-hmm. Did you get the job?
Okay.
Wait, what is that? You were never even considered. Well, then I'm not taking your fucking advice. This is my problem too, and I have this issue because I have a children, right? If a man starts giving me advice that I didn't ask for, I give them instant attitude because I'm like, I didn't ask for your fucking advice. And I don't want to hear it. Why do you... The goal of people to think that you want their advice when you don't ask for it is so annoying. One of my pet peeves. But I'm sure Rachel has way more reason, right? I'm just some woman, right? I'm not a chancellor or I'm not in any sort of leadership role, right? She has even more reason to be pissed off. Like, well, maybe you should try doing this. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you a chancellor in the past? No. So you're just speaking off of no experience then. Yeah, but I'm a man, so I know better than you. Don't think that's how that works. The Prime Minister said he was acutely aware that women in public roles get much more abuse and criticism than men. He also said he absolutely wanted Angela Rayner back at the top of the government after she resigned as his deputy housing secretary over her tax affairs. Miss Reeves had hit out at critics, mansplaining to her how to be a chancellor, and blamed sexism for being at least some of the criticism leveled at her ahead of the budget. Asked whether he agreed with her, Sir Keir, I strongly believe that women in public life get much more criticism than men. And I mean that is in politics, but also across a number of other areas. I'd say the media, frankly. There's abuse and criticism of all politicians, but I'm acutely aware that women get much more abuse and criticism than men do, and I think it's about time we acknowledge that. Labour leader also pointed to Ms. Reeves to hold the office of Chancellor in more than 800 years of history. Reminds me of the United States. I had a dream that a woman became president of the United States, and I was like, wow, I'm dreaming right now, because I genuinely don't believe it's possible.
I have two examples of that, right?
Yeah.
There's two 20th century examples of women actually, being the brains of the operation, at least. Maybe three. Probably
but
three.
Nobody will admit it, I'm really
Nancy
proud
Reagan.
Sorry?
Nancy Reagan made all of Reagan's policy decisions based on her astrologer. And Hillary Clinton was basically the brain, well, not the only brains, but probably smarter than Bill. Plus, Woodrow Wilson's wife was actually the de facto president when he had a stroke.
Yeah,
when he had
died
a stroke,
or whatever,
right.
and it was like, I'll just be until the next election.
He couldn't sign jack shit because he had a stroke. So he had to sign everything and guide his hand, or just leave the room. He's gonna sign it while you're gone. Yep.
I'm really proud that we've got a female chancellor who's doing a really good job, he said. Miss Reeves told the Times magazine this week that she was sick of people mansplaining the chancellor. She complained about criticism from boys who now write newspaper columns, as in they haven't grown up at all, they're still in high school. Like, oh, that poor girl needs my help because she's an idiot and has shit brains. It's like, actually, I got up here because of my brain, the other way around. That's still a thing, right? A thing people do, and I'm not going to say just men do this because I'm tired of this men dialogue. Women do it to themselves too, men do it to each other as well. This whole idea that she's only up there because she looks good, probably gave some blowjob, something like that, right? There's no way a woman could be chancellor of a country because she just rose the ladder, worked hard at being a politician, and then somebody said, you know what, we should make her chancellor. She's doing a really good job. No, it can't be that. She must have been getting handsy with everyone in the background.
Well,
whatever.
since we know that we know that Donald Trump fellatioed his way to the top. We know that now, so we should stop the sexual component of that.
That's what I'm trying to say, right? This isn't a men.
If you're on your knees, for anybody, men do it more. At least symbolically or metaphorically, they do it more. Oh, I am surrendering all my manhood to this one person because I have no standards. Lindsey Graham, a so-called
make me
man,
famous.
right?
Yeah. People do this. It's a human thing. Yeah, but for some reason, right? My point is, for some reason, women are the ones who get criticized for doing something that every human does, right? Cozying up to something brown-nosing, whatever. But when women do it, it's a bad thing. When men do it, oh, that's the only way you can get to the top.
I will use the Republicans as an example. How many Republicans stood up to Trump recently? 4, and 3 of them were women that the left wing can't stand any of them, right? We can't stand any of those 3 women. Massey seems like a decent guy, but those three women are Bolbert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Nancy Mason are all just awful human beings, right? But they stood up to the right-wing men and they said, no, we want the files released. So yeah, it seems to be a little bit of a disconnect on the Republican men's side from reality.
But right now we're talking about UK politics, so let's continue with that.
Well, I'm just saying, who's more sycophantic? It's the men.
Yeah, I understand that I understand, but I like to talk about other people's politics, not just the U.S. all the time. She complained that there's criticism from boys who now write newspaper columns saying, I recognize that I've got a target on me. You can see that in the media. They're going for me all the time. It's exhausting. Her former cabinet colleague quit the government in September of this year after she was found to have breached ministerial code following a tax underpayment on property purchases. Asked whether he could envisage a comeback for her, Secretary said, yes, absolutely. I've always said I want Angela back. Even back in September at the time, I said she's going to be a big voice in the Labour movement. They still speak regularly, he said. Sir Keir added, I'm friends with Angie, and I like Angie a lot, and still, which means that she probably still has his ear, so he's probably still making certain decisions, right? From her opinions. Not saying that she's making all the decisions, but like if he says, Angie, what do you think about this proposition? So I think it's good, but you should add this in. It's crap. Try for something more or something, right?
England, they change their mind about leadership every 15 minutes, so that's a problem.
That's because they elect parties. They don't elect a leader in the UK.
I'm just saying, put yourself up a figurehead that doesn't have a brain and get it over with, you know? I'm just saying that. No opinions, no brain, empty vessel, just put them out there. That's what they did after Churchill.
Is that your hypothetical?
No, that's
hypothetically,
what
you should just replace it and put it.
Yeah, that should be my hypothetical. There you go. You named it. You called it out. I was going to point out that the leader of England during their largest accumulation of their empire was Queen Victoria, right?
Yeah.
And when the tide changed, who was the leader who oversaw the total dissolution of the British Empire? It was Queen Elizabeth. So, all the major things that happened, right? All the major things that have happened in England seem to be driven by women. So, just my little take there.
Yeah. But it's a tough egg to break, getting through the patriarchy we've been living in. Or who knows how long.
They're two longest serving monarchs. They're two longest serving monarchs, by the way. Queen Elizabeth I, Victoria II.
That's because I don't know why women live longer, but they probably eat their vegetables.
I think Charles would have to be like 140 to match his mom's rating, right? Something like that.
He's definitely
ridiculous.
I will be surprised if King Charles is the king for like 10 years from now. I would be actually genuinely surprised if he's still going.
I think they're part of a vampire ring, right? They just that's who's abducting.
There's a Doctor Who
children.
episode that they're all werewolves. That's why they have the same blood.
That's who's abducting these children. That's who's abducting all these children, man. It's these werewolf freaking. Yep, the werewolves. Don't forget about the.
But let's not talk about that story yet, because I still have one more story.
Jack the Ripper was never solved, and it was definitely aristocrats. It was definitely aristocrats. Otherwise, it would have been solved. They would have found
it's always safe to say if there's an unsolved mystery, it's probably a rich person. I think that's
aristocrat.
My next story that you can hypothesize with, is the Winter Games, right? 2026, we're gonna have the Winter Games, right? You have every 4 years. Every 4 years, you have both, but it's always I guess
alternate. They just alternate even
every 2 years, so between each other. If you have the Summer Games, 2 years later, you have the Winter Games. And this is happening. It always starts in the same place, Olympia. That's where they light the torch.
Never used to be the case.
Wherever the hell they're having the games, I don't even know where they're having them this year. I'm sure the article will tell me. But this is about them lighting the fire for next year's games, and they're having a little emergency rehearsal because it might be cloudy and rainy when they light this fire, and you don't want that to ruin, the big flame. The big flame. Don't like water very much. This is by AP News. Derek Gatopoulos and Thanasius Stavrakakis, coming out of Ancient Olympia, Greece. Even the gods need a backup plan. Organizers in Ancient Olympia have held an emergency rehearsal today on the 24th of November, to light the flame for the 26th Milan, that's where it is, Milan, Cortina Winter Games, seizing on a brief break in Greece's stormy weather. For months now in Europe, in all over Europe, with heavy cloud forecast for Wednesday's official lighting ceremony, lighting the torch on the 26th of November. The flame produced Monday will be kept as a backup. We're going to put it in a little hut and be like, stay safe, don't blow out. An actress portraying an ancient high priestess used a concave mirror to concentrate the sun's rays on the torch. It took 7 seconds to ignite the flame, without artificial means, preserving a tradition inspired by the original Olympic Games dating back 2,000 years. The flame was lit following a theatrical invocation of Apollo, the ancient god of light, but success depended on simple, unforgiving physics. The mirror must focus direct sunlight to generate the searing temperature needed for ignition. Without it, the method fails. So that's why they're keeping this fire. This fire is purely created without gas, without a starter, nothing, right? Just wood and a mirror. And that's why it's the backup flame. So in case there's not sun for them to light it with on Wednesday, hey, look, you have a similar fire that was in today. Because no sun. Olympic organizers said they have been tracking the weather for days, supported by Greek Meteorological Service, to time the brief sun. Updates were relayed every 2 hours according to Ocean Farmer, head of the Olympic Channel's office in Switzerland. The weather forecast is based on mathematical algorithms. There are about 25 to 30 different models used to calculate predictions based on available Farber to the AP. The weather team has also constantly compared the forecasts against actual outcomes, he said, and that's what guided our decision. Olympia, 320 kilometers or 200 miles southwest of Athens, was considered sacred ground by the ancient Greeks. Today it serves as the symbolic starting point for every Olympic competition. The flame intended to link the ancient festival to modern games. Organizers also relied on a backup for Paris Games. This year, after a brief tour, the flame will embark on a 63-day, 12,000-kilometer relay through 110 Italian provinces before concluding at February 6th at Milan's San Siro Stadium. That's why they're lighting it now, so they have that full route to get it there for the lighting. Runners will carry the Senzalia, a sleek Italian-designed torch made with recycled aluminum, with a bio-based polymer grip and fueled by gas. So the flame that they're carrying will not be made by mirror. It'll be continued fueling through gas, otherwise it'll go out. February 6th through the 22nd, Milan Cortina Games, Italy's third Winter Olympics, first jointly hosted by two cities, Cortina and Milan. They will feature 116 medal events, the debut of ski mountaineering, that's fun, higher female participation, and the return of NHL players to Olympic hockey. Woo! Yeah, how about those professional players defeating everybody in the Olympic Games?
No, not really. In hockey, at least it's fair, right? Well, it used to be hockey's as a sport dominated by Canadians, Russians, Sweden, right? So it's not one country.
A lot of U.S. teams hockey. Too, right?
U.S. sucks at hockey. I mean,
but I'm just saying the fact that you have a national team means that you're not just somebody who plays it every weekend or something.
Yeah, but it ain't the U.S. that's going to dominate because they're professionals like basketball. They don't even dominate basketball anymore because, the best European players are NBA players now.
Isn't the current star of the NBA an actual European? That's what I heard.
Like every top 10 star in the NBA is an actual European. It's true for 10 years.
I don't
other than LeBron and Kevin Durant, all the MVPs have been foreign nationals. Last year it was who was it last year? Was it? I don't even remember who it was. No, last year it wasn't. Unless he was born in another country, it might have been. But most of the MVPs are from other countries. Giannis, Jokic, one of the favorites this year is the Lakers player. So, I'm sorry, I've
no, that's fine. Story. I was just asking.
All right,
let's put it out. Let's Demigorge wants to put out all the torches as in protest. No towers, no torches. The best part of the Olympics is that there are hundreds better people. Oh, you're saying in the world there are hundreds of better people to get in.
The Olympics is not about winning anyway. It's about meeting people. It's about hooking up with foreign nationals. I mean, it's a big social
I do think there's
event.
a lot of nepotism into getting into the Olympics. There has to be.
Don't forget they had a dressage as an Olympic event. Dressage. Who has the prettiest horse? Give me a...
Well, it's more than that, but I understand what you're saying. Dressage is how you control your horse.
That's a rich guy's sport. The horse is the athlete. Does the horse get anything? Nothing. The horse doesn't get crap. Extra
Medal
oats.
winner.
The horse don't care. Right? Oh, I get to worry out. Medal for 9 seconds.
Is that so? What's your hypothetical?
I think there should be more winter sports, and I looked up all the suggestions, and I didn't see these, so I came up with my own. And I calculate what winter sports should be based on the first 3 things you do when you get snow and you're not used to snow. What are the first 3 things you do when it snows? What do you do? I mean heavy snow, not the little snows, the big snows. Yeah, that's one. That's another one.
Make a snowman?
Well, there's 4 of them. Make a snowman. Actually, there's 4. Okay, I just came with another one. That's 2. What's another one?
Snowball fighting?
Yep, exactly. And what's the 4th?
I have no idea.
It's going to be a very subjective, judge-based event, but it's going to be catching snowballs on your snowflakes on your tongue. That's the number 4 thing you do.
You're gonna need the really close-up lens for that one. Staring at a tongue for 10 minutes, being like, "All right, here we go. She's about to catch it. Okay, zoom in."
I would combine it with skating. And they can't use their hands. They cannot propel themselves with their hands. They got to keep them behind their back, right? So
yeah.
They can't speed themselves up and they can't balance even with their hands. So they got to kind of keep their backs. Yeah, like, none of this.
I agree, though. You could definitely do some sort of snow sculpting competition.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like snowman, maybe not building a snowman, but like snow sculpting or something.
That was suggested. But I wanted to find things that weren't suggested, and I had to look up and see if anybody suggested snowball fighting. Apparently, Japan wants it. Japan wants snowball fighting as an Olympic sport. So hats off to Japan.
They like to have fun. I mean, that's what sports are. They're just they're just supposed to be fun, right? Competitive fun.
Right.
Still fun.
Right. And again, the people that seem to be crying about trans athletes are not athletes themselves, or they're failed athletes, like that one swimmer that's just drifting constantly on TV.
Got 9th place or something, and she would have gone 8th if she didn't lose.
She finished 5th. She finished tied for 5th with a trans athlete in Olympic qualifiers. Neither one of them made the team, but she's still mad because she wasn't good enough. She just wasn't good enough, and it's somebody else's fault, not mine. Not my fault for not training as hard as I should. Or maybe I just don't have the physical ability, but god darn it, it's not my fault.
Do you want to build a snowman? Oh yeah, here we go. Demigorge guessed snow shoveling as a competition.
So that was suggested. That was one of the exactly. That's a great idea. That was suggested. I was looking for the ones that weren't suggested on the list that I found on I think it was Reddit. I found a list of people just...
Imagine going to this Winter Olympics and getting paid, which supposedly it used to be illegal to get paid, and to shovel some snow.
What I would do, I would make it a combination sport. I would say, okay, 5 shovelfuls, right?
Yeah.
Take a shot of brandy. That'll be the end of the first quarter, right? You measure how much snow they shoveled before it melts. We want to make sure the snow isn't going to melt.
Yeah.
Then, of course, it weighs the same when it melts anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, you measure the snow. Yeah, you let it melt and weigh it, right? Because the water.
Well, maybe what you can do is you can set up a scale, right? And then the place you have to shovel the scale into, right? Because to shovel the snow into is that. So you're shoveling, putting it in like a basket, some sort of basket, and that basket weighs how much snow is getting in there, because it is insulating, so a pile of snow will not melt as quickly as if you were to honestly if you were just leave it there, it would probably melt faster if you just left the snow right there.
If you just not running it, but throwing it into a heated container that's heated to 50 degrees.
And then turn it into water. I see what you're saying. And then
turn it into water and weigh it. And while they're waiting for the end of the first quarter weighing, each competitor's taking a shot of brandy, right? And then you go to the second quarter, and then
Why
you do
is
it
the
again.
brandy necessary?
Well, it's called a what do they call it? A combination sport. It's like,
Okay.
we're going to make
Getting
this
drunk.
harder, right? So again, you handicap all the good shovelers who are good when they're sober, and then the ones that really don't care about it anymore because they're out of pain. By the third quarter, they're shoveling everything.
I'm not sure
right?
I'm not sure if we can do a sport where people get drunk.
I don't know why.
I don't think I can get that past regulations.
This is not purely hypothetical. As long as we're being peeled, I can have moon maidens do it if I want to. It's hypothetical.
Let me give you your cheers here because I didn't give you it for last one.
Thank you. Moon maidens shoveling snow. That's my event. Okay.
Oh, all our sounds got deleted again. Why does this keep happening?
Oh no! Crap.
I'll do it. I'll fix it during your story. Let's roll our next segue.
Oh my god! There's my Homer.
Woo! Yeah! Okay, our next segue is a haiku for your stories.
Haikus! All right. Over last week sometime, X decided to try out a new feature, which is finding out where all your accounts are based from. And it shows that, wow, a whole lot of megas from other countries that we can't actually identify. Eastern European. Well, that's weird. BusinessInsider.com has the story. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. X shows the region where accounts are based. This is by Peter Gelling, Shobahangi Goel, and Robert Scammell. It took 3 people to write this story. X will announce, let's do the story. It began when Nikita Biar, X's head of product, posted on Saturday that the platform had rolled out a change intended to increase transparency and about this account page that, among other things, reveals the country and region where a user's account is based. The company announced its plans for this feature in October. This is an important first step to also carrying the integrity of the global town square. Ooh, aren't we so cute with our little metaphors? It's a global town square. Your town square has a bunch of bad actors in it. We plan to provide many more ways for users to verify the authenticity of the content they see on X. Beer wrote on X. His name is Beer, but it's spelled B-I-E-R.
Can we call it Twitter because fuck Musk?
Okay. It turns out that not everyone was eager to reveal the origin of their accounts. Users in places that limited freedom of speech could face political repercussions. Some users called it forced doxing. That's not doxing.
Okay.
All it does is tell, what country you're in. Others said it is a user-created account using a VPN routed through another country. The location information may not be accurate. Why is it a VPN routed to another country unless you're trying to hide something? So that's my question. However, if X's system detects an account that is using a VPN, it flags with an exclamation symbol next to the user's account. There you go. The disclaimer states that this data may also not be accurate. On Saturday, X removed information about where some accounts are created. Beer said the data was not 100%, especially for older accounts, and the company plans to bring it back by Tuesday. 5 hours later, he posted again. I need a drink. Late Sunday, he added that there would be an upgrade in 12 hours, that location accuracy would be nearly 99.9%. Oh, that's a hell of a fucking claim. All right. I'm not, really, even the VPNs are going to be.
Oh, so he's trying to claim, no, it wasn't accurate. All those accounts totally aren't Russian bots. That was not correct. Our bad.
Twitter users started tapping into the about pages of their online rivals to discover anything they might deem amiss. Several prominent Twitter accounts that promote MAGA talking points, for instance, appear to be based in places far from the United States. The account MAGA Nation, which has some 400,000 followers. I don't know if that's big on Twitter, but I'm sure a lot of those followers are bots anyway. And describes itself as America First, is, according to a new feature, based in non-European Union country in Eastern Europe. Name one, right? Yeah. Another account called America First, which was created in March, was close to 70,000 followers and posts things like, thumbs up if you're a Trumper who loves God. It appears to be based in Bangladesh. big Trump area in Bangladesh. I think he won that state. No, he won all electoral votes in Bangladesh. Oh, it's not a state. Oh, okay. Sorry.
I mean, these people, yeah, some people don't know New Mexico's a state, so I'm not surprised.
New Mexico's not part of this country. Oh, please. The examples go on. He's a fun story. Remember all those? I'm an independent Trump-supporting woman. Accounts on X that pretend to be real people in the U.S. supporting Trump. Due to recent location updates, we now know almost all of them are based in Thailand. Let's take a look.
And the reason, right, that these are in Eastern Europe or whatever is because it's really cheap to create like a data center there. That's why.
And Twitter doesn't give a crap about you unless you're posting friggin' Elon Musk airplane location data, right? Those are the people that get banned. It should come as little surprise that many accounts are perhaps not what they seem. It's like, this is all I do on Facebook, or report fake accounts. Like, this guy's not real. He has no friends. He's been on for 15 minutes. And they don't even get booted. They don't even get booted on Facebook. Facebook's like, all right, whatever. Fake profiles, disinformation, coordinated to show Discord online have been long problematic. All social media platforms, let's put it that way. And the threat has only worsened with the advent of AI, which again just gets shit wrong. I was asking my phone yesterday about a game yesterday, a few certain facts, and I had to keep correcting AI about facts, and it's like, that's not really true. Oh, I apologize. You were correct. I'm like, okay. Why should I rely on you for anything? MAGA Nation, for its part, has not addressed its location and continues to post a healthy clip. MAGA Nation is just a bot, folks. Let me repeat some bullshit today. Bullshit. Okay. Everybody's like, subscribe, follow. Oh man, if you're MAGA at this point, I don't know what to tell you.
If you're still on Twitter at this point, I don't know what you're doing.
I've been telling people, again, reporting what people say on Twitter is not news, and the people you're reporting on aren't people. They're just people.
Well, the other thing, right, is if you find out the majority of Twitter is bots, then if you're saying, I can't leave Twitter because I get so many views on there, it's like, none of those views are real. They're all bots. If 90% of your likes, if you're getting 1,000 likes and 90% are bots, you're getting 100 people actually liking you. Just 100.
But
not
they don't care because they paid. They probably paid for those. Some of these people are so desperate for whatever content.
People pay for views, they pay for likes, they pay for follows. From bots.
That's why we are
right? These bot farms exist because you can make money off of it. You can say, we'll give you 10,000 views on your video. You pay us $20, and then it's all fake. All fake.
And basically it's basically just fog to confuse poor people as their billionaires run to the bank or moonwalk to the bank or wherever they get carried to the bank by several small children, right? I don't know. In response to a question about doxing a user's location while they are traveling, Beer said on Saturday that it would update on a randomized and delayed schedule to ensure it is not possible. Disclaimer on user's account location states the country or region that account is based may be impacted by recent travel or temporary location. That'll not be is accurate or not. Which one is it? Is it either 99.9 or you don't have any idea whether it's accurate? Good save, Twitter. He pulled that out of the fire. It's 99.99 accurate unless they're traveling. Then we don't know. In other words, you don't have any idea. And again, you're just giving these idiots cover anyway. 2022, Twitter banned accounts sharing the movements of private jets, including Musk, who raised safety concerns about tracking real-time movements. Beer also said that over the weekend, a new About This Account feature would not show the location of any official government association accounts with a gray check mark to prevent acts of terrorism against government leaders.
Did you see this where the Homeland Security official Twitter page was coming from Israel?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
maybe she was in Israel, right? While she was sending it. We don't know because X is giving them cover. They're going, yeah. And again, doesn't a gray check mark or a blue check mark supposed to symbolize a verified account?
Yeah,
right?
originally, but now bots can just
isn't that the reason?
Pay for them, realistically.
So the gray check mark should be put in there just to say, or some red check mark to say, hey, we verified this address is in the country they claim to be in or something. Yeah. But whatever. Twitter has no standards, so I don't expect them to have any standards soon because that's not going to happen. Stinky the Clown account does not display his location data and only shows that he joined X and was verified in 2009. Leon Musk's account shows he's located in the U.S., but Stacy has been verified since 3000 BC. Leon Musk, the oldest living human in the history of the world, older than Moses claimed to be. Wow! A period of history that coincides with the rise of complex civilizations in places like ancient Egypt. Maybe he just wants to go see his mummy. I hope you didn't get a pun. You didn't get a pun, did you?
No.
There's your story. All right, there's my pun. So yeah, so there's your first story of two, and it's about Twitter. Just again, some place I never go because I don't care. Anybody can say anything. I'm gonna get in a fight with a celebrity. I got in a fight with a celebrity today. Woohoo! You know, fucking bogus nonsense. What a way to waste your time. And reporters that look for stories, they're just getting gaslit every day. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Your segue.
Okay. Demigorge says, Twitter died in 2011. My ex uses her Facebook to call her boyfriend. There you go, Demigorge, talking about your ex again. You really need to stop doing that. I call my dad on Facebook. That's all I use Facebook. Call him, wake him up, and then I put him on Discord.
I use Facebook to troll until I get thrown in Facebook jail.
Here's my haiku. In Digital Den, bots chirp in endless silence. Human voices drown. Is this a human? No, it's a bot. And it's the same thing with AI, right? You have to assume everything's AI and everything's a bot because you can't trust anything. That must be AI and that must be a bot.
We have another story.
Okay.
And this involves reporters in that. Remember that PPP loan nonsense that all those rich people just got all that money and didn't have to pay it back, and it was fraught with fraud. There's your nice hard to say.
I know I don't remember this
alliteration headline. Fraught with fraud. PPP loans. They let's do
COVID.
It because there's a new during
COVID,
right?
Loans, yeah.
The government said, "Hey, socialism is bad, except when rich people can rip off the government." That's basically what it was. New York Post we went to for this story because I think they actually do sometimes have good reports. Disgraced ex-news anchor Stephanie Hockridge, sentenced in a massive COVID fraud scream, will be jailed with Ghislaine Maxwell. Oh boy, minimum security for everybody. And I'm like,
they just stole money from the government. It's not like they killed anybody. Oh, wait a minute. Maxwell definitely stole money from... I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe not directly.
Right on. And I just wanted to point out, as we did a little sidebar about Ghislaine Maxwell, and everybody's outraged. She's in a minimum security prison, and she's getting food and all this. And I'm like, do you realize that minimum security works both ways? That, for instance, Epstein was locked up in maximum security, locked up without bail in a jail, right? Supposedly had really good security. Somehow he ended up dead. So I think minimum security is probably a bad news for Ghislaine Maxwell because anybody can slip in and kill her, right? That's what I'm saying. So my thing is, that's what's going to end up happening. Oh, she OD'd on pills. Oh, yeah, right. Sure she did.
Sure she did.
Where'd she get the pills? Somebody smuggled them in. Yeah, exactly. Somebody smuggled them in. Why? Minimum security. The 42-year-old, we're going to get back to the story about Miss Hockridge. Excuse me. I had the hock.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, it's hard to say that name without hawking. The 42-year-old former Phoenix TV anchor. What is it about Phoenix TV anchor? Remember that lady that tried to run and just kept admitting she didn't win? Carrie Lake or whatever the hell her name was?
I don't know
what you're talking
about.
First, she lost for governor. She ran for governor. She was a Phoenix TV personality. She ran for governor, got trounced. Then she ran for senator last time, got trounced again. And, of course, the first time she would not admit she lost, even though she got trounced. So I guess TV anchors of Phoenix are grifter central. The 42-year-old Phoenix TV anchor turned entrepreneur was sentenced in Texas federal court Friday in order to cough up nearly $64 million in restitution for the bogus Paycheck Protection Program loan she helped secure during the height of the pandemic. The Justice Department announced Hockridge, found guilty in June of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, will report to prison on December 30th. She will be locked up in a federal prison camp in Bryan, Texas, the same minimum security facility that houses Jeffrey Epstein's madam, disgraced Theranos fraudster Elizabeth Holmes, and the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City scammer Jen Shah. The AC family reported. AZ family must be a news source. It looks like they're going to have their own little reality show, maybe. Huh? Let's have a reality show. Women behind bars. Hockridge and her husband, Nathan Reese, founded a lending service called Bluacom in 2020, which they claimed were designed to help small businesses secure federal paycheck protection program loans at the height of the COVID pandemic. But prosecutors said the couple's Scottsdale-based firm charged borrowers kickback based on a percentage of the funds received and submitted applications to the U.S. Small Business Administration, which ran the PPP program, that they knew were loaded with fraudulent information. In one application, Reese reportedly falsely claimed he was a veteran and an African American. He is neither. In total, they processed more than $63 million in bogus PPP loans, according to the DOJ. The PPP was an $800 billion federal loan. Let's not call them loans. There was a giveaway. Initiative launched in 2020 to help small businesses keep workers employed during the COVID-19 pandemic, which nobody paid back, and not one of them, not one nickel at any time. Investigators allege that the couple used the proceeds to enrich themselves personally, which is what most people did. The former KNXV TV anchor claimed that her actions were a sincere effort to support small businesses, in navigating a chaotic government during an era of unprecedented need. By a congressional report found that Bluacorn routinely failed to properly vet applicants and charge illegal success fees to borrowers, violating Small Business Administration rules. The report also detailed how Bluacon's leadership and introduced staff to prioritize speed over accuracy. Bluacorn, not a real company. Okay, just to make that clear. No company, not a thing. It was just a scam. Reese took a plea deal in August and will be sentenced in December. So they're both going to be sentenced in December. Hockridge spent 7 years as an anchor of KNXV TV, the ABC affiliate in Phoenix, and had previously worked as a reporter for CBS News Radio in London. She was nominated for an Emmy and was named favorite newscaster by Arizona Foothills magazine. So she's going to jail, but it's not a real jail. She's going to be playing golf and pickleball all day, getting a tan, working on her Zakotos or whatever the hell puzzle she does, and just living it up with old Jolene Maxwell. Yay! So not real prison, but at least she isn't free, and she has to pay all that money back to somebody. I'm not sure. To the people she ripped off, I hope. Let's have us a haiku.
Okay, my haiku about game over. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Game over for her, at least. So my haiku is: funds meant for the aid. Empty promises linger. Debt shadows are past. There you go.
Whoa, get the soundboard, dang it. I was sleeping on the soundboard.
Back in jail you go. Also, why is that?
I have no...
all of the things.
All of them, yeah. With the golf clap. We got to put the golf clap in there. All right, let's spin our wheel.
Okay,
I did send you a video.
Segue for my stories.
I just send you a video so you have pictures to go with this story.
Okay.
All right,
Pictures,
what's the
huh?
wheel say? Well,
Our
video.
segue is alliteration headline. And this is going to be one story, a long one, but a one story. And it's about... I don't remember what it's about.
It's about 7 minutes.
It is about Amazon. Okay, some Amazon sites in Italy have been raided by police in a China smuggling probe. This is by Emilio Parodi on Reuters. Coming out of Milan, November 24th, Italian police carried out searches and seizures at 2 Amazon sites in Italy today as part of an investigation into the alleged smuggling of Chinese goods. 3 people with direct knowledge of the matter. Reminder, the reason smuggling is bad is because of tariffs and taxes, which the government loves tariffs and taxes. That's money that you funnel into them or something. They don't want that. They don't want you to skip out on it, okay? And also you might be smuggling in stuff that they don't allow to be sold, like hedgehogs. Dozens of officers...
The unintended consequences of making things illegal is you create a black market.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dozens of officers from the Guardia di Finanza tax police and the customs agency seized around 5,000 products at a logistical hub operated by the e-commerce giant in Cividate al Piano in the northern province of Bergamo, these sources said. At Amazon's Italian headquarters in central Milan, police seized IT equipment and identified the Amazon manager responsible for the transportation of goods in Italy, the sources added. So he's probably going to be indicted in the smuggling ring. Amazon in Italy was not immediately available for comment. Italian prosecutors allege that Amazon acts as a kind of Trojan horse, allowing as yet unknown Chinese goods to circulate in Italy without being appropriately taxed. There it is! I told you! Wait! For taxes!
Hey.
A court document showed today on November. Among the products seized at the Bergamo Center were toys, mobile phone covers, air fryers, pens, and small scissors. It was not immediately clear what impact the two operations would have on Amazon's activities in Italy. The smuggling probe is a new line of inquiry stemming from an investigation into an alleged 1.2 billion euro tax evasion case. That's a lot of tax evasion. 1.2 billion that's supposed to be going into Italy's government budget, just missing. The new case, led by Milan prosecutors together with the Monza branch of the Guardia di Finanza, alleges smuggling offenses by dozens of Italian companies, many of which are the fronts for Chinese entities, and the manager in charge of the movement of goods via Amazon. Prosecutors suspect that goods are being brought from China into the European Union and then into Italy through currently unknown channels, without sales tax or customs paid. Products are then allegedly moved and sold via Amazon's marketplace. Milan prosecutors are investigating the suspected violations of the customs code. Since last summer, 2 other ongoing operations have proceeded with Amazon's cooperation due to the complexity of managing good flows in the e-commerce giant's logistic hubs. 3 people with direct knowledge of the matter said that the number of products involved could total 500,000, with the probe expected to be extended to the rest of the European Union. Milan prosecutors were summoned to The Hague, headquarters of the EU Agency for Criminal Justice Cooperation, Eurojust, where they presented the scope of their investigation to counterparts from several countries: Germany, France, the Netherlands, Poland, Spain, Belgium, Sweden, and Ireland. The disputes over custom duties and sales taxes have built strong tensions with the United States over the past year. It is unclear how this case against China will be viewed in Washington and across the world. In the original 1.2 billion euro tax evasion case, Milan prosecutors investigated 3 managers at Amazon's Luxembourg-based European unit over alleged tax fraud related to online sales in Italy in 2019. According to the probe, Amazon's algorithm allows it to sell in Italy goods from non-EU sources to the Chinese without disclosing their identity, helping them avoid paying Italian sales tax. Under Italian law, an intermediary offering goods for sale in Italy is jointly liable for non-payment of sales tax by non-EU sellers using e-commerce platforms. What that means is that Amazon is going to have to pay these 1.2 billion euro tax evasion because they are responsible for having illegal goods being sold on their platform and no taxes being paid on them. They need to get that shit checked. If they're going to sell stuff that are imported from China, they need to make sure that the tax have been paid, because otherwise they're liable. Amazon said in a previous statement it was committed to complying with all applicable tax laws. In relation to the case, Italy's tax agency has submitted a settlement proposal to Amazon on which the U.S. group must decide by December. So they've only got like 2 weeks, I guess, to decide. Amazon's tax position has been investigated by the public prosecutor's office, EPO, which has been opening its probe into its account after new EU rules imposing stricter VAT obligations on marketplace came. It was also reported by Emilio Parodi and edited by Crispian Bone. And this honestly explains very much why it took so long for Amazon to be in Europe. When I moved here, Amazon only sold books. That's it. We had our own Dutch kind of Amazon wholesale internet seller called Bol.com. That's what was here. But Amazon only recently, I think in the last 5 years, around or after COVID, Amazon actually sent random junk too. And this is what happens, right? When a new platform enters your economic zone, they instantly start finding loopholes and not paying taxes. You can't pay the taxes, don't open a fucking company. You know the taxes are high in Europe. That's the meme everyone always says. Oh, it's hard having a blah 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 in Europe because the taxes are so high. And then you try to avoid paying them. You deserve all of the fines and whatever happens to you for trying to avoid paying taxes in a place you know loves taxes. That's my long story. Your mic is off.
Sorry, I was coughing, so... Yeah, the billionaires like to say there's no free lunch, but of course they're always giving a free lunch. My alliteration headline. International intrigue. Italians intercept illegal inventory.
Hey. That's right, Italy is an easy one, huh?
The crowd fell asleep. The crowd's sleeping. They're not going to applaud. That's cool.
You do realize there's also a delay in our just to ourselves, right? Not just. I would have to start. Yeah. I would have to start cheering when you are halfway through a sentence. The time.
Don't worry. I know all about communications. I've studied it a couple times. All right.
But there's our story. Thank you for your alliteration.
All right.
And let's
hopefully you're not rolling. Hopefully you're not rolling a joke because this is really serious stories. So I'll give you a reroll.
It's going to make one happen now. It's actually a simile or metaphor. Accurate.
There you go. It doesn't have to be funny. Well, we have stories about children. First one we're going to do is a more recent one. And that is about the children that were escaped over the weekend from Nigerian captivity. NPR.org. And they have a story from the Associated Press, which is, I guess, going to be the same story. I could use either source. 50 school children escaped captivity in Nigeria. More than 200 still held. Abuja, Nigeria. 50 of the 303 school children abducted from a Catholic school in north central Nigeria's Niger state have escaped captivity and now with their families. The school authorities said Sunday, bringing relief to some distraught families after one of the largest school abductions in Nigeria's history. The school children aged between 10 and 18 escaped individually between Friday and Saturday, according to Most Rev. Bulus Dura Yohana, chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria in the Niger state, and the proprietor of the school. A total of 253 school children and 12 teachers are still held by kidnappers, he said in a statement. We were able to ascertain this when we decided to contact and visit some parents, Johanna said. The pupils and students were seized together, a lot of S's there, with their teachers by the gunmen. The pupils and students, are pupil and students the same thing? Were seized together with the teachers by the gunmen who attacked the St. Mary's School, a Catholic institution in Niger's state's remote Papiri community on Friday. No group has yet claimed responsibility for the abductions, and authorities have said technical squads have been deployed alongside local hunters to rescue the children. It was not immediately clear where the Niger State children were being held or how they managed to return home. Well, they might be able to give you a clue if they're smart enough, right? They figured out how to escape.
Yeah.
Nigeria's military and police. I mean, you got 50 kids can probably lead you right there, you know? Unless they move, then moving is going to cause a lot.
Maybe it was the teachers, right? Because they said the teachers also got kidnapped.
Yeah, but only children escaped. As much as we receive,
yeah, maybe
as much as we receive,
they were like, these children are worth nothing. Just take us captive. These children, you know, you'll never get money for these children.
253 people in captive, and most of them children. As much as we receive the return of these 50 children that escaped, with some sigh of relief, I urge you to continue with your prayers, and that won't do anything. The Niger state attack happened 4 days after 25 school children were seized in a similar circumstances in neighboring Kebbi State's Magatown. Oh, Lord. Seriously. Change the name of your town, which is 170 kilometers away. Both states are in the northern region of Nigeria, where dozens of armed gangs have used kidnapping for ransom, one way of dominating remote communities with little government and security presence. Why do you have no government presence in these states? Because you're cowards? I don't get it. Why do you have a country you can't control? Come on, guys. Satellite image shows that Niger State school compound is attached to an adjoining primary school with more than 50 classroom and dormitory buildings. It is located near a major road linking towns of Yelwa and Makwa. The school kidnappings have come to define insecurity in Africa's most populous nation, and armed gangs often see schools as strategic targets to draw more attention. Niger State hurriedly closed down all schools after Friday's attack, while some federal colleges and conflict hotspots across the nation were also closed by the Nigerian government. So their solution to this is not more security. It's like, oh my God, we're cowards. We're not going to do nothing. We'll wait till the children free themselves. I got a lot of problems with this story, but let's have us a metaphor.
Well,
it seems like they don't want to
the people in Nigeria are a lot like dead fish.
Yeah? Why are they like dead fish?
Doing nothing.
Right. That's basically it, right?
Yeah, and I guess my hypothetical or my idea of what might be happening is that it was like a, you know, let the kids go, keep us and kidnap us, right? Keep us for ransom.
Yeah, let go of the 50
kids. Convince the kidnappers to just be like, these are kids, you know.
Well, there's not a lot of details. It's like they escaped. No, there's 50 of them. Not one of those 50 kids knows where they were. Really? Okay. They let the dumbest kids go?
Yeah, maybe. So,
next story is even more tragic.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even know where these kids are. But we have probably some pretty good ideas. TheGuardian.com has a story. Diane Taylor, more than 50 childless asylum seekers still missing after disappearing from Kent Care. This has pissed me off last week about the Irish in Dublin. Rioting because asylum seekers, one person committed one crime, so everybody's got to get burned out of their hotels.
Mm-hmm.
Because one person. Meanwhile, children are being abducted and nobody gives a shit. So you racists that hate immigrants, I don't like you either. So I meet somebody that wants to talk to me about immigration, I'm going to load them up with facts. Right? There's so much about immigration you don't understand, and you've been told a lot of lies by a lot of rich people who don't care if you believe them or not. They're just going to tell you lies, and they know that 50%.
We've been fed dehumanization. We don't see these people as human. I say we. They don't see these people as human.
Here's a quick primer on what happens in legal immigration. Legal immigration, the people have lower crime rates, but in spite of that, they have no police protection. And instead of police protection, why do they have no police protection? Because the police are just going to arrest them and throw them in another country they probably not even from. So since they don't have legal protection, who do they get protection from? Organized crime moves in. Yay! The police aren't going to protect you, but we will. Just give us some money. So that's what happens in illegal immigration, and they do not get it. At least in the United States, they get no service. If you're illegal, you're illegal. You're undocumented, you're undocumented. Nobody's going to give you any food stamps. Nobody's going to give you a free house. None of that exists. So it's just a big list of lies that these people believe based on their own hatred. And that's all it is. There's no facts in any of this. And asylum seekers are asylum seekers. They didn't sneak across the border, right? They didn't change their name. They didn't grab a legal social security number or legal government ID or any of that stuff. They went to your government and said, my country sucks. I'm afraid I'm going to get drafted into a shitty army. I need asylum. Or they punish women for existing. I want asylum. But instead,
I want to live in a country that doesn't. And yet again, right, these people don't choose to be born in the country they're born in. There's like this some sort of psychological idea that, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't have been born there. Like, how do you control that? Let me know. Right? Let me know.
Exactly. Again, we are in America are the winners. The overall, we won the lottery the day we were born, and we don't even know it. We don't even acknowledge the lottery. It's just the fact that you were born at all is winning the lottery, considering the thousands of sperm cells and egg cells that could have hooked up and made you a person. You're a miracle that you exist in the first place. And then the country you're born in is totally incidental. Your parents decided that, not you. And you're born and you're like 5 years in and you go, this place sucks, and you want out. That's a human condition that's existed since the human conditions existed, and we can't blame people for it. We're all immigrants. Let's start the story, right? More than 50 lone child asylum seekers. This is from Diane Taylor, in case I didn't mention that, from The Guardian. More than 50 lone child asylum seekers who disappeared soon after arriving in the UK, while in the care of authorities, are still missing, according to data obtained by The Guardian. Many of the missing children arrived in small boats or hidden in the backs of lorries and are thought to have been taken by traffickers. Kent is often the place where they arrive. Like, who is fucking in charge of this shit? It's not even like
it's thought to be. It's assumed that they've been trafficked at this point.
Did you shoot inventory on children staying in a hotel? Oh, I did it a week ago. It hasn't changed, has it? Oh, let's see. We had 345. Now we got 276. Where did the other ones go? I don't know. Maybe they're all eating lunch. Who are these fucking people? Who's in charge of this shit? Are they all living? Are they all buried in Prince Andrew's basement? I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what to say about you, England. What are you doing? Between 2021 and 2023, I mean, the United States does the same shit, but doesn't make it good. When the Home Office operated 2 hotels for children in Kent, along with the hotels in other areas, 132 children went missing from those 2 hotels. Of these, 108 were later found, but 24 are still missing. 24 missing.
24.
Between 2020, yep. And between 20, and in addition to that, between 2020 and 25, 213 children went missing from the council's reception centers for the groups of children, with 182 found and 32 still missing. So that calculates up to 56. In both cases, Albanian children were the largest group to go missing. Brown kids, making up half of the total of the Home Office hotels, 68, and more of the core of the reception centers, 65. So 68 that were missing, and I guess the ones that go missing, but it doesn't update the ones that were found, because that totals up to be over 100.
Are we considering Albanians brown now? Is that what we're doing? The people from the Caucasus
could be. Region? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Are they brown? Esme and Madil. Why Albania, though? Go figure out the Albanian angle, then. Yeah, Esme Madil, maybe they just have the most immigrants. Maybe they have the most asylum seekers that didn't think they were going to be punished for seeking asylum. And these are children by themselves, by the way. Their parents are unknown, whatever. Maybe the parents came and got them. We don't know, right? We don't know, because they aren't tracking them. Like, what are you guys in charge of again? Children? This is your system? Esme Madil of the Migrant and Refugees Children's Legal Unit at Islington Law Center said, these figures are shocking. Behind each number is a frightened child who has already had experienced egregious human rights abuses for arriving in the UK seeking safety. When we represent children who have escaped after being trafficked whilst missing in the UK, we see how their mental and physical health is permanently harmed by the abuse they experienced during this time. For one child to go missing represents an abject failure of the state to protect the most fragile and abused in their care. These numbers are in the hundreds. She said more needed to be done to find these missing children. They have not chosen to go missing. These children should be playing football in the park and preparing for their GCSEs.
High school exams.
SATs.
High school exams.
Not servicing trafficking gangs in conditions we know include being chained to furniture, physically and sexually assaulted and punished by being starved for food. In December 2023, following a long-running high court case relating to lone child asylum seekers missing from all home office hotels, the practice of routinely accommodating children in hotels was ruled unlawful. KCC instead agreed to increase protection for these children by expanding the use of reception centers. Since that court ruling, another 44 children have gone missing from these centers. Well, there was your solution. Didn't solve a damn thing. It just made you feel good for about a month and a half. Patricia Durr, the chief executive of Every Child Protected Against Trafficking UK, or the ECPATUK, that was spelled Ekpatuk, and such data was always alarming. Once a child goes missing, the risk that they are being exploited increase significantly and are certainly more vulnerable to exploitation and trafficking. No, I'm sure they're all just working at the bank. Our research over many years shows just how... Yeah, they're all chimney sweeps. I'm just a humble chimney sweep. That's how I am. Our research over many years shows how more at risk unaccompanied children are as they separated from home, families, friends, communities, may have been trafficked to UK, trafficked in road, trafficked after arrival. It's a sick, sick world. She calls the government and public authorities to prioritize child safeguarding over other considerations to afford unaccompanied children the care and protection they need, they deserve, and ensure that all decisions are made in child's best interest. A KCC spokesman said, any child or young person missing from care is a serious concern, and we take every effort to protect them. Unaccompanied asylum seeker children are vulnerable to being attacked. Okay, we're going to keep repeating that. It's an obvious fact. KCC also refers children to mechanisms and services to help manage and risk exploitation in the UK, including a national referral mechanism, and independent child trafficking guarding service. Even then, it's challenging to prevent all children from going missing. I don't understand
it's crazy
how you
to
can
have
charge children and let them go missing. What are you people doing? What are you doing? How does one child missing for 10 minutes at any time in your charge? You are incompetent fucks. Where's your happy, pleasant metaphor?
I don't know. I haven't had. You told me not to tell a joke, so I don't think I have one.
Okay. Well, you can be outraged.
There's nothing happy about this. Sadly, I'm smiling, but in pain. My metaphor is these children are like stars hidden behind a cloudy sky. They're there somewhere. Okay. Can't see them. Don't know where they are. Just completely lost them. The object permanence, the absence of object permanence with these people caring for these children. Wait, were there children here once? What happened to them? Did anyone notice the laughter just disappeared? What happened? Oh, there were children here. That's right. We're supposed to be paying attention to those. So forgetful. Guys, that's the story.
Yeah, I can't imagine anyone,
weird and wacky story.
All of these people involved in this that are supposed to be protecting are either taking money to look the other way or they're just part of it. Yeah. That's all any conclusion I can get. How do you lose track? Okay, I got 253 kids. Let's hire 253 people to take care of them, or at least half of that number to keep it on. Right, like you're in charge of these two kids. Don't lose them.
Divided by 30, a classroom, one teacher, whatever, something like that. 15.
And if you can't care for children, if you can't keep track of children in your care, I hope you don't have children of your own. That's all I got to say about that. Right.
Yeah, Demigoch says they are evil. Yeah, not a good sign.
Horrible, horrible,
No
Yeah, it's
detective
like, oh,
looking
we don't
into
have to
it,
answer.
oh, whoops, we about lost some children.
I'm going to set my timer to see how many people are actually punished for that. I think I'll set this timer for like 70 years, right? Let's do that. Yeah.
Check in on it later. Okay, let's roll
Okay,
our
it's
second
set.
wheel for my culture news. Sorry, we have to move on from the story.
It's Outrage Monday. It's Outrage
Outrage
Monday. Outrage, outrage, outrage. Why are people so stupid and careless?
Okay, this is my culture. Oh, my culture news. Your segue is sarcasm. And my news story is about... If I can find it again. Here it is. Finding a 1,300-year-old... Oh, sorry. Did I say 1,700-year-old Roman tomb in Budapest. This is by Elise Horton and AP on Culture. The limestone coffin, sealed for nearly 2 millennia, contained a young woman's skeleton surrounded by treasures meant for her entombment. Not every day archaeologists get to lift the lid on a tomb that's been sealed shut for 1,700 years. Great, it's another curse. But that's exactly what happened beneath the streets of Budapest.
That was my sarcasm! Damn it. Oh, sorry.
Where researchers have uncovered a remarkably intact sarcophagus. The limestone coffin was discovered during excavations in Buda, a northern district that was once part of Aquincum, a thriving Roman settlement along the Danube. And here's the extraordinary bit. It had never been opened or disturbed since it was first sealed centuries ago. I hope they're wearing something over their face. The peculiarity of the finding is that it was hermetically sealed sarcophagus. It was not disturbed previously, so it was intact, said Gabriela Phineas, excavations lead archaeologist. When the Budapest History Museum team carefully prized open the heavy stone lid, which had been secured with metal clamps and molten lead, found a complete skeleton surrounded by treasures, trove of artifacts. Inside were 2 perfectly preserved glass vessels, bronze figures, and an impressive haul of 140 coins. A bone hairpin, amber jewelry, traces of gold-threaded fabric, along with skeleton size, suggest that the tomb belonged to a young woman. Or maybe we were just shorter back then. Who knows? The coffin had been placed among the ruins of abandoned houses in a quarter of Aquincum that residents had vacated in the 3rd century, which was later turned into a burial ground. Whilst archaeologists also found a Roman aqueduct, 8 simpler graves nearby, none came close to matching the richness or pristine condition of this sealed tomb. Maybe it was the last living matriarch of the village. When she died, they all moved away. All the items were given to the deceased by her relatives for her eternal journey. Agnes explained. The deceased was buried very carefully by her relatives. Must have really loved who they buried her, she said. That's what I'm saying, like the last family village matriarch. People love a matriarch. You know, that old woman who knows all the secret recipes and all the different herbal remedies. Watched your child when you went to work. During the Roman era, much of modern-day Hungary formed part of the province of Pannonia, whose frontier ran along the Danube's right bank, less than a mile kilometers from where the sarcophagus was found. A legionary camp stood nearby, guarding the empire's border, and the newly discovered structures were part of a civilian settlement that grew up around it. Anthropologists will now examine the young woman's remains to learn more about her age, health, and origin, but the grave's location and the abundance of artifacts already tell us quite a bit about who she might have been. The sarcophagus and its contents definitely make it stand out, said Gurgly Ostodal, or is it Gurgly, a Roman period specialist and co-leader of the project. This probably means that the deceased was well-to-do or of higher social status. It is truly rare to find a sarcophagus like this, untouched and never used before, because in the 4th century it was common to reuse earlier sarcophagi. It is quite clear that the sarcophagus is especially deceased. The excavation team had already removed a layer of mud, roughly 4 centimeters thick, so about this thick, about a I think that's about an inch thick, of mud surrounding this coffin, which Feniez hopes might contain more treasures. I suspect we could find jewelry. We haven't found any earrings or other jewelry belonging to women, so I hope that these small items will turn up during the shifting of the mud, she said. For Feniez, or is it Feniez, the discovery isn't just scientifically significant, it's deeply moving. I was very touched by the care and the expression of love that we were able to get a glimpse of, she said. Even now I shudder to think how painful it must have been for the people at the time to bury this young lady. Was she young? Have we dated the bones yet? I feel like she must have been old. And she's definitely old now because she's at least almost 2,000 years old skeleton. But there you go. I guess I should have saved that for this Good Tuesday News Day, but we need some good news. Now, there are people out there centuries, millennia, almost 2 millennia ago that were loved by their people enough to be buried permanently in the ground, never to be touched again until now.
Everything is peaceful.
Right on. Of course, my sarcasm goes back to the earlier story where we reported that Elon Musk is over 5,000 years old. Ancient Egypt woman, Elon Musk, probably sexually harassed, right? He was around 3000 BC, and he's still around today, so he overlapped
I
with that
love that
time
you turned this
period.
really positive story into something negative.
It's called sarcasm. You don't like my sarcasm? Damn. Damn, man. How's that negative? It's a joke. It's a friggin' joke. I mean,
You
a
can still
joke is a
groan
joke.
at a joke. That's what puns are for.
I'm just saying. I think that's hilarious. First of all, Elon Musk claims that he's been a verified Twitter member since 3000 BC.
Yeah, we went over
That
that,
in itself
during
is
your
hilarious.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I used it in my sarcasm. He obviously was newer. He was around. And of course, he was, a master of the universe then, too. He's always been that. He was born to be
Like
that.
a Calvin and Hobbes
5,000 years
comic strip
old.
I saw earlier.
You can't argue with success. He's 5,000 years old. I can't believe you're arguing about that. It's obvious fact. It's on Twitter. It can't be wrong.
Of course.
All right, let's do
They never
state
make
history.
mistakes over there. Let's roll our segue wheel for this day in history. And I will draw you up
Meanwhile, right?
some jokes. I'm going to write 3 jokes based on 3 things from your list. I guess we only have sardines.
All right. 3 things from the list. A second. Okay, I finally got my video to load so I can pause it. Okay, so this day in history, we're going back to the year of, November 24th, as this month comes slamming to a halt. 1531, the second peace of Kappel brought an end to the Kappel Wars during the Swiss Reformation. And I don't know if that's before their army knife or after the army knife. So
Well, I think the Swiss Reformation was probably before. That sounds like a long time ago before the
right.
knife.
My Swiss Army knife, by the way. It's got the little Swiss logo on it. See it? All right. There's Swiss Army knife. Sidebar. In 1700, Louis XIV of France proclamation of his grand... What's that?
Sorry, the video that I'm downloading started playing by itself. Continue.
Oh. Louis XIV of France proclaimed his grandson Philip to be king of Spain because I said so, by golly, beginning the War of Spanish Succession. So Louis XIV is just trying to claim territory by just existing. My son was born. My grandson is born, therefore he's a king. 1832, the Special State Commission of Carolina adopted the Ordinance of Nullification, which declared two federal tariffs null and void within the state. It sparked the nullification crisis, which ended in favor of the federal government. So in 1832, I guess the supremacy clause was put in effect. It's like, you cannot cancel tariffs that the United States government has imposed, South Carolina. And South Carolina is like, we want to own slaves.
Boo!
Okay, you can keep your slave buttons. And they said, okay. 1859, Charles Darwin on the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection was published. And of course, all these stupid people declared that it's just a theory. Okay, whatever. In 1874, American inventor Joseph Farwell Glidden patented his first commercially successful barbed wire. That is interesting because it helped what? To tame the West, as they claim. Hey, we'll kill all the buffalo. Here's our 2-tiered system. Kill all the buffalo. Then we'll put barbed wire up and we'll just have cattle roaming the prairies, fenced in by barbed wire. Of course, barbed wire is very easy to cut. I don't know what the big friggin'... I mean, it did stop the animals from escaping on their own, but it's still very easy to cut. 1877, shortly before her death, Anna Sewell published her only novel, Black Beauty, the first major animal story in children's literature. Major animal story. In 1947, the Hollywood 10, a group of motion pictures... The Hollywood 10, on this day in 1947, a group of motion pictures producers, directors, and screenwriters who appeared before the House Un-American Activities Committee. Un-American Activities.
Oh, I remember this.
What exactly is American? Subjugating people, stealing their land? Is that an American thing? Un-American. What a stupid
Wait, you're
term.
talking about how we're bad. Anyway, you can't talk about that. We're good all the time.
That's right. They were worried that Here's what happened. Oligarchs were afraid that unions were going to get any power at all, so they started labeling them as communists. So in October 47, they were all found in contempt of Congress because I'm not naming names. It's not a crime to belong to a political party. It never has been. They never, for one, all this House Un-American thing that was eventually adopted by Joseph McCarthy did not identify one communist, locked people up for defending their friends against unlawful prosecution. So basically just more fear-mongering by the oligarchs. That's all it was. 1963, Dallas nightclub owner Jack Ruby shot Lee Harvey Oswald, the accused assassin of U.S. President John F. Kennedy. Yeah, so they say accused. He was never proven in court. Although he definitely did shoot Kennedy. He wasn't the only person that shot Kennedy. Somebody else did. There's no doubt about that. 1971, a man later known as D.B. Cooper. Wow, 8 years later, D.B. Cooper went into fame. Not his real name. Hijacked a plane shortly after departing from Portland, Oregon, and later parachuted out of the aircraft with the ransom money. Despite an extensive manhunt, he was never identified or caught. I think he was identified at some point, but they're going to stick to their guns on this story, apparently. 1998, Queen Elizabeth II, speaking at the annual ceremonies for opening of British Parliament, announced that the right of hereditary peers to vote in the House of Lords would end, though the compromise legislation later allowed 92 hereditary peers to remain in Lords. Okay, the House of Lords, it's a freaking urn. You're born into it. You're not elected to it. It's complete crap. And hopefully that's ended now. It's been 1998, and those 92 people that are there are mostly gone. It's been 27 years. I would hope that's over with. I mean, oh, you're in the House of Lords because your dad was in the House of Lords. Oh, okay, whatever. What a stupid way to run things. 2001, the Grand National Assembly of Turkey ratified changes to the country's legal code that made women equal to men before the law and no longer subject to their husbands. Way to go, Turkey! A Muslim country doing that. Mostly Muslim, I would say. Our 1642 featured event is the Dutch discovered Tasmania. All those people in Tasmania were sitting around going, I wonder where we are. And the Dutch showed up to tell them. Dutch navigator Abel Jan Zoon Tasman, who it wasn't even named Tasmania until this guy showed up, who sailed from Batavia in Jakarta to investigate the practicality of a sea passage eastward to Chile and explore New Guinea, skirted the southern shores of Tasmania on this day in 1642. Tasmania is near Australia. It's part of, I believe, New Zealand, correct? I'm probably wrong. Our feature biography is Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec, a 4'2" French artist, Born November 24th, 1864 in Albi, France. So it's his, not a special birthday. He only lived to be 36. He died in 1901. And started also in France, Malrome, France. Other birthdays today, Zachary Taylor, born in 1784, former president. Also, William F. Buckley. William F. Buckley, American editor, conservative guy. He turns 100 today. He's not around anymore, but another one of your conservatives that said Trump is a lying sack of shit. And of course, the Republican Party is no longer conservative. It's just MAGA now. Nothing conservative about any of it, especially the tariffs nonsense. 1946, the birthday of American serial killer Ted Bundy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ted Bundy. Oh, boy, got to remember that guy's birthday. Piece of shit. 1978, Katherine Hagel, American actress. Her birthday, she's turning 47 today. National Day today is only one thing, and it's National Sardines Day. So those are your days, your mispronunciations, your haiku. Did anybody have haiku today? No, we didn't have haiku.
Yes,
we did, though. We had.
I had a haiku.
Oh, yeah.
You forgot about it.
Oh, yeah,
already.
your second.
Wow, thanks.
My first section was a haiku. Your haiku. Hey, man. I forget things as soon as I say them. So, there's your mispronunciations, your bad memory lapse, do we have tech glitches other than me? For everything.
We're doing this show over the internet.
Over the ocean. Somewhere over the Atlantic, somebody's jamming our signals. That's my excuse. And that's everything for today, November 24th, 2025, and before Sardines.
Okay, I only have 2 jokes because the Tasmania joke, I really had to use my brain for that one because I guess Tasmania is not a famous place to get jokes, even though I know it is because I watch it.
The Tasmanian Devil, man.
I watch a lot of Australians, and Australia considers Tasmania basically the inbred country of Australia, state of Australia.
So it's part of Australia.
Here we go. Here's just an easy joke. Australians say you'll need a passport to visit them because you're flying overseas from Tasmania. Not a good joke, but I really couldn't find it. I was like, I'm not a comedian. I need somebody to write a joke for me. And nobody had any jokes about Tasmania, at least not on my search.
They got to involve the Tasmanian Devil, you know.
Yeah.
You can make a pun.
I'd rather talk about the country of Tasmania, not some Warner Bros. Invented thing that's not real. I mean, I know Tasmanian Devil.
Jokes be jokes, man.
I don't want to joke about that.
Designed to get laughs,
about the actual
not
country.
to be
I wanted some
accurate.
funny Tasmania jokes, and there's nobody who wants to talk about that. My next joke is, the level of pollution in the world today is becoming intolerable. Only the other day I opened a can of sardines to find it full of oil and all the fish were dead.
Oh no. No, not dead fish in my can.
All the fish in my sardine can are dead.
Oh my god!
And that's all the jokes I got for you.
Okay. All right. Right on. I've leaned forward to work the
Let me look up my international observances, which where are they? Here they are. So, we had a bunch of stuff over the weekend, like African industrialization, and of course, science, and I think that day ended. And it was World Children's Day, which was very convenient. I would love my page to load. It's crazy that it's taking so long to load this page.
Which page?
Here we go.
Video?
So today is the continued and last day for World Antimicrobial Resistance Awareness, which is diseases spread, they learn, and they learn to get stronger. So make sure you wash your hands, keep your eye on your colds, and don't don't get anyone else sick. Try your best to do that. If you're sick, stay home. I know we live in a capitalist society that's like, you can't have sick days. Well, whatever. We have to stand up for our sick days. Don't forget that viruses. These people who don't want us to be humans and have sick days and take holidays, let them fire you. And everyone let them fire you. And then they won't have any workers. And then they'll be like, why do we workers? Oh, it's because we don't give them sick days. Or give them holiday. And now you don't have a company because you went bankrupt. Asshole. And it's also World Conjoined Twins Day. That's right. Those wild instances where, yet again, science cannot you cannot control science, or I should say, the biology. 2 children are born at the same day, or within 13 to 15 days of conception, and for some reason, 1 out of 50,000 to 1 out of 100,000 live births can cause a conjoined twin, where your shoulder and their shoulder are the same place. Sometimes hips, sometimes heads. Heads is the most dangerous one because you shake parts of your brain a little bit. And oddly enough, 3 to every 1 man of fetuses are born. Every female fetus, 3 out of every 1 male fetus is born as conjoined. So it's very.
That makes no sense. 3 out of every 1.
It's more common with female.
3 doesn't fit into 1. What did you just say? 3 out of every 1? That makes no sense.
If there's a male conjoined twin, there have been 3 who have been born.
Looking up at the clouds passing
For everyone.
That still don't make any sense.
For everyone. That's how ratios work. I don't know
So
why
there's
you're...
3 times as many? That makes no sense. 3 times as many conjoined twins as male twins? That
No,
makes
I'm
no
saying
sense.
it's a ratio, so... It's a ratio.
It's male 3 to 1 over females?
No. There's 3... For every 1 male, there's 3 female conjoined twins. 3 females per 1...
The other way out.
Yes.
It's the other way around. Yeah, I just need clarification. I don't understand that.
Okay.
Okay.
There's no association with maternal age, race, parity, heredity, or observed. There's literally no explanation why it happens. It just happens. You roll enough dice and it happens. You get one. So, the rate of stillbirth due to being born a conjoined twin is about 60%. So, tragically, do have to cut one off and put them to rest. There's your sad news about conjoined twins. This has been Allison here from the Netherlands.
You called me Captain Bring Down. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This has been Allison here from the Netherlands. Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. as we finish up another day of Before Coffee here with my dad. Just to indicate everyone who's been watching my stream on Twitch and doesn't know, this is my father. Because I've recently been informed that people didn't know it's my dad. So, not some random guy I know. I've known him my entire life. He's known me my entire life.
Yeah, we found you at the hospital.
We will see you tomorrow for Good Tuesday News Day, in which we will cover the good and positive news that's been going on this week and since the weekend and since last Tuesday. So make sure you're following on Twitch, subscribed on YouTube, turn on those notifications if you don't the live or post video. And of course, support us on Patreon, where you can see bonus pre-show and post-show discussions on Patreon on the Before Coffee supporter tier. And here is our mic drop moment.
Federal prosecutors are asking for a hefty sentence for Blue Acorn founder Stephanie Hockridge, who was convicted of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. They're asking for her to spend approximately 16 to 19 years in prison, just shy of the 20-year max in this case.
I like how they're saying they're asking
news anchor
her,
at
like,
ABC 15,
can you please stay in
Stephanie
prison?
Hockridge is now a convicted felon, according to court documents.
That's an interesting
Prosecutors
way
call
to...
her crime a pervasive fraud
Interesting way
and
to say
say she
that.
refuses to accept any responsibility and instead continues to blame everyone but herself for her own conduct. We asked Jason Lamb, a Phoenix-based defense attorney who's not involved in the Blue Acorn case,
turned over
about the
state's evidence
factors
apparently
that could
because he doesn't want to go to
impact
prison.
Hockridge's
But she's going to prison.
Probably most relevant in this
Not a real
case
prison,
is that
but-
she was a leader, organizer, or manager of the conspiracy along with her husband. That can cause an increase in one's sentence.
In June, Hockridge was found guilty of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. 2 months later, her husband pleaded guilty to the same charge. The couple founded their financial tech company, Blue Acorn, in Scottsdale in April 2020, and they worked with others to submit
we did the
fraudulent
story.
Paycheck
You just
Protection
need to see
Program
what the
loan
people look
applications
like.
by
And,
fabricating
I just
documents
think it's
that
helpful.
falsified
Please give me
income
money. I
and
have
payroll
200
figures
people
so
that
that
work for
they
me,
and
and I
their
need
clients
to
could
see
receive
them.
forgivable
Oh, wait,
pandemic
I don't
relief
have
loans
any.
for which
definitely-
they were not eligible.
This was not a
I could definitely
benevolent
scam this
endeavor
system
gone
because I
astray.
did have a business in 2020.
Prosecutors are contending
right?
that Blue Acorn
But
was set up
I knew
for
I would
one
get caught,
purpose
right?
and
I
one
would be the
purpose
one out
only,
of 1,000
to
that got
defraud the
caught,
American
right? I
taxpayer.
would be the one. That would be the
trial,
example.
Hockridge was convicted for
Yet
her
again,
work
the thing
only
about
in
these
They didn't
a
catch
small
them
loans,
all.
subset
you
of
just
loans,
came back.
but prosecutors asked for her to be sentenced
And they're
on the
never,
estimated
they were never
totality
paid
of the
back by
fraud.
anyone.
Bottom line
They canceled
is
the
there were
payback.
tens
So they were
of millions
giveaways.
of
They weren't
dollars
loans. Let's not call them loans.
from the American
They weren't
taxpayer at a
Sweepstakes.
time where this country was
And
in
most of
great
it was a
distress.
fraud. Almost
Hockridge's
all of it
attorneys
was fraud.
have filed several pleadings
I wouldn't
in
be
court
surprised
saying they
if most of
dispute
them
the
were fraud.
prosecutor's arguments for sentencing enhancements
It sounds like
and
it's
loss
really
amount
easy to just
calculations.
We've reported on this.
Undoubtedly, she's going to
80% of it was fraud.
Hockridge's attorneys have also filed a request for a new trial,
You
saying
think they're
that
prosecuting all the
prosecutors failed
frauds?
to
No.
disclose some evidence prior to her original trial in
It'll
June.
take years.
Hockridge's husband is
What do you
scheduled
mean,
to be
like she
sentenced
should be
next month.
she should
He
be
also faces a
convicted for
maximum
more?
of 20 years in prison. I'm senior investigator Melissa Blasius.
Doesn't matter. She's going to be going to a
ABC15,
country club
Arizona.
anyway. Just, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.